Hey, this is part two of the work industries I just did, requiring a phone today to call an employer that I will call. I have to follow through for work, right? Even though there's a lot of red flags. But to call that employer, I would usually, without being able to afford or justify a phone, I've gone into Work BC to borrow their phone. Can't go into Work BC, so I can't call this employer. I have to, find another place and see if it's quiet, and they'll let me call this out-of-town long-distance phone number. So that's an additional barrier. And the other thing is why I'm calling less than $35 an hour minimum wage. It's not just because of my expertise and education and training. It's also because the price of things here. The price of things here, especially a guy that can't get a girlfriend because I don't prioritize the balance of my bank account, is I'm on my own paying for a lot of things. So I don't have that benefit, but anything below 35 is minimum wage in a society that keeps creating a bigger gap between the rich and the poor. So the other things I wanted to say is that, just give me a second, is that a lot of these emails is me, let's say, bypassing Indeed, contacting from the website the HR department, so I make efforts, and then I say, this is my situation, and I'm clear, and they don't bother reading well enough, reading comprehension, much less going to see what I post on LinkedIn that is free for everybody to see. But they say, well, apply this way, and I'm trying to save us both time and effort as the critical thinker with these domesticates, and then I'll do it this way, their way, which I did just yesterday with another one. But I tell you, I repeat, these are all my skill sets. This is what I can prove I bring to this job where you're asking for this. I'd be surprised if you found somebody better, but I did it their way, but their way was also, partly copy and paste the email cover letter that I wrote, right? Because I made an effort to write something individualized for them. Now later, it's either I don't hear from them or they're going to say, oh, sorry, you don't have a teacher certificate. And it's like, why did you waste both of our time when I never claimed I did, and you didn't make any efforts before, and you're so domesticated when domestication has no place in the learning process? And anyways, I was asking you what kind of roles can you put me in, but I'm also saying I'm this far away. So if they say, oh, yeah, you're pretty far, yeah, we don't have a... Well, I asked you this in the email that you didn't want to bother to do any reading comprehension. So should I tutor HR people? Should I tutor BC-certified teachers and principals? It looks like it. And also teach them the thinking process so they don't waste their own time alongside of mine. Just a moment. Sometimes when it's a role that is ECE related, I say, with the right employer over time, I would be okay to apply for the equivalency of ECE. Although they know me, that branch of the government, and so does Make a Future. I've criticized them for their flaws, and a couple of BC ministries related to education. So I'm probably red flag somewhere, black flag, whatever you want to say. And if I can prove this for not doing anything wrong but challenging their paradigm in ways that, eventually is going to be done by the general population anyways, but I'm doing it faster in an assertive and constructive academic way. But then if somebody can prove Martin was blocked from these provincial opportunities in education when we needed it, well, I'm pretty sure they're not going to give me the key to BC later, because Dear BC residents pretty much proves that there's a decline. It's been measurable. I don't need to spend another 14 years in BC to prove this. So anyways, what's happening with the ECE thing is you can work in that field with the responsible adult. So sometimes in an email where one of the things posted is related to ECE, I'll mention I don't have it, but they won't even open the attachments to show, hey, I have the responsible adult. And really, you get all my skill sets. Just, I can't be a supervisor, or I can't be alone with that many kids because I don't have the ECE or whatever. It's not because I'm not safe. I'm more safe than they are. And I'm more effective at structuring group dynamics than they are. And they have the information, but they often ignore it because it requires paying attention for about a minute. And then they say, oh, you don't have the requirements for it. And they don't want to even think that the life skills coach, for example, the bachelor's, mostly psychology courses, including in child development, all these things and other things like training when I did work more with kids, that adds up to more than the ECE. And that when I went in the ECE training, I was considered by some to be the teacher. That doesn't count.